My mother was an outgoing woman. We had a large family. There were 11 kids. And she managed to take the time to spend with each child, always pushing us forward. Every one of my brothers and sisters went to college. And I think she was a primary reason for that. My grandmother was an entrepreneur. And I think the entrepreneurship that I've developed over the years comes directly from my grandmother. She actually started a camp in Massachusetts and took care of kids during the summer. That was her primary occupation. I worked with my father for a number of years, and that to me was always fun, because I used to like to listen to my father. He was a good teacher. He taught me how to be a master painter. And as a kid, 12 and 13, I could paint as well as any man. My brother Ted was a student at Central State in Ohio, and I started talking to him about going to school and decided that I would go to Central State. Applied and went to Central State for 2.5 years, and it was actually one of the professors there, W. Lou Tandy, who was my economics professor. He recommended I go to Boston University. He thought it was a better school, would be a better option for me, so I applied to BU and was accepted. Transferred in my first part of my junior year. I really grew up and became a part of the black world at Central State. Central was a black university. It was so different from Boston. That's where I learned how to party. Coming from Boston, people just didn't know how to party. At Central, they knew how to party. I started out at Central in the business education program, and then went to BU and stayed in the same program. I taught school for about a month and realized that was something I just didn't want to do for the rest of my life. So I came in to the first large class of blacks at Harvard Business School, and this was in 1968. There were 29 of us that were admitted. It was an impressive group. We were about as close a group as you could get. We were all afraid that we weren't going to make it. I was married then. I went home and I told my wife, I said, I'm quitting. I'm leaving this place. And she told me, no, you're not. And actually talked me through the whole time I thought I was going down the tubes. She was assuring me that I was doing the right thing, and I wasn't going down the tubes. I didn't go down the tubes. When I started Syncom, I had roughly $1 million in the bank with the task of helping to create a media industry for blacks. And clearly $1 million was not going to do it. We focused on FM and FM that had just been licensed, where we could get the appreciation and value from those FM properties. And that's what we did. When I started in this business, I was at UNC and I was told, these are the kinds of people that we finance. And I looked around and I said, well, they're not the people that are successful. You know, I looked out and I saw in communications back then, guys like Percy Sutton, Clarence Avant, Gene Jackson, they were the guys that were doing things. They were making real headway. And if you talk to them, you know, they'll tell you hard stories about how they came up and that nothing was given to them. Everything they got through hard individual effort. And I was convinced that you had to finance people and not businesses. And so I started looking for people who were of the same ilk and work with them. And that's really how we made it at Syncom. We finance people. My legacy created a lot of good entrepreneurs in the black community, or work with them to help them create what they have. Work with Bob Johnson, with Kathy Hughes at Radio One, with Moctezuma Espaza and Buena Vision. These are companies that will really have a significant impact on the future. And the entrepreneurs understand what they have to do to make them work.